Hello guys! What's up? And this is Cheska. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And kung bago kayo dito, welcome. And you know what to do. So pag-uusapan naman natin ngayon ang mga pilot licenses, pilot course or Epaulettes, and flight school program or course for modular type of training. So just a disclaimer, I'm speaking based on my experience. Flight school program and requirements may vary from each school. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the vlog.
You're cleared for takeoff.
So now that you're qualified to be a pilot and you've enrolled in your chosen flight school, you are now a student pilot and you will have your first bar or epaulettes with one stripe. Ano nga ba ibig sabihin ng mga bars or stripes? So, nire-represent ng bawat stripes or bars ang rank and level of experience ng isang piloto. So, ang minimum number of stripes is 1 and the maximum number of stripes is 4. Since we're talking about flight school, a student pilot wears 1 bar while private pilot students wear 2 bars, a commercial pilot wears 3 bars, and a captain or flight instructors wear 4 bars. So since na-discuss na natin ang mga pilot epaulettes or shoulder boards, let's now discuss the flight school course. So the first program is the pilot course or the PPL. I have to undergo PPL ground school, 10 hours of simulator, and 40 hours of actual flight time. PPL ground school usually takes 3 to 6 weeks if you'll study as a class, but if one-on-one, it can take up to 1 to 2 weeks. Really depends talaga how fast you pick up and if you meet up regularly. So for the ground school, these are the subjects that you are going to take. Airlow navigation, flight planning and performance, aircraft general knowledge, meteorology, human performance, principle of flight, weight and balance, radio telephony, operational procedures, equipment qualification, and power plant or the aircraft system. Then you'll have your midterms and final exams, of course. Depende sa school if ano yung terms, but for my school, 70% is the passing grade and pwede kang mag-retake. So now that you have learned the theoretical aspect in flying, you will now do the flight simulator training. You will need 10 hours of flight simulator before you proceed to actual flying. 2 hours every session. So, kaya within a week, depende sa schedule ng school. And malaking help ang simulator na makatipid. So, really take advantage of it. Para sa actual flight, mostly handling and airmanship ang focus. So, during your simulator training, you will understand the importance and use of each flight instrument as well as the proper scanning. Personally, nahirapan ako at first kasi 6 yun and each instrument may kanyang-kanyang goal. So, ma-enhance talaga ang focus mo, matitrain ang brain and muscle mo to work together, and of course, build situational awareness. So, you'll be taught how to take off, climb, maintain a straight and level flight, descent, and of course, my favorite, landing. So, you would do a circuit or traffic pattern for sure sa first few hours ng flying mo. Simulator, you will do mostly traffic patterns. Then you'll also practice or simulate radio or communicating with the ATC or the air traffic controller. So if mahilig ka maglaro ng video games like me, yan, GTA, favorite ko yan. It helps in a sense na flying is like playing a video game. Kasi may mga goals and strategies ka, and kapag natapos mo yung mission or your goal, it's rewarding, really satisfying sa feeling. That's why flying is addicting. So if natapos mo na yung 10-hour simulator training, you are now ready for an actual flight. But before that, kailangan mo make sure na your licenses and certs or certificates are complete and valid. So dapat meron ka ng pilot logbook, medical class 3 license, student pilot license, NTC radio or NTC license for radio telephony, and English language proficiency certificate. I suggest after your 2-hour simulation or SIM for short, pick a day for you to get your NTC exam and ELT oral exam para tumatakbo na ang time ng processing ng certificates mo and licenses as well. So it takes about a week or 2 weeks bago ma-release. So if you have all those licenses and certs or certificate, you are ready to fly. So you will need 40 hours of Cessna 152 actual flight of widespread flight training. Yan yung Cessna 152, two-seater plane, and yan yung usually ginagamit for flight training. So, yung 40 hours na required consists of at least 20 hours of dual flight instruction, meaning may flight instructor na kasama, and at least 10 hours of solo flight, and another 10 hours of which can be solo or dual flight. Pag na-release ka na sa solo flight, kumanda ka na kasi meron ng nag-aabang na tubig, na timba ng tubig para ibuhos sa'yo. So, tradition yun.
Tama na! Papa! Wala lang bagong tubig!
Dami ko din nainom na tubig dyan, ha? Paano ba naman? Kasi syempre hindi mo matatanggal yung ngiti mo habang binubuhusan ka ng tubig sa sobrang saya mo dahil na-release ka na. So, kakabitan ka rin ng wings at huwag niyong kakalimutang mag-celebrate after school or after flight. Magpakain ka kasama din sa tradition yun. Order ka ng lechon, ganun. Or sama mo na rin si JD or si Johnny. So, after all the fun, aral-aral muna ulit dahil mag-e-exam ka sa CAAP for your aircraft rating. So, don't worry guys, passing grade is 70% and if I remember it correctly, 30 to 40 items. So, pero don't worry guys, pag bumagsak kayo, unlimited retake naman yan. So, pa-schedule lang kayo ulit. So, next time, itutour ko kayo sa CAAP. After you reach 40 hours of total flight time, you will have your flight test or checkride with a CAAP checker. So it usually takes an hour or two of total flight time. So after you pass the checkride, you are now a PPL or private pilot license holder. Yes! So you can now wear 2 bars and you have the privilege na sumakay sa plane anytime and carry passengers with you and explore the skies. Or mag-volunteer ka sa mga search and rescue mission or any other personal activities. But unfortunately, you cannot fly for paid compensation or hire. So you are now qualified to take the commercial pilot course. So kailangan talaga maging private pilot license holder ka muna for you to be able to jump onto the next course. For the commercial pilot course, you will need to do CPL ground school, 100 hours Cessna 152 actual flight, and 10 hours Cessna 172 actual flight. I think Cessna 172 mas malaki siya compared sa Cessna 152. It's a 4-seater plane so you can bring your friends, your family, and of course yung partner mo. Or if may nililigawan ka, isama mo na baka mapasagot mo na. So, syempre no, kakaibang experience yun. So, date in the skies, guys. But anyway, wag muna yan ang isipin natin. Studies first kasi ang mahal ng flight school. So, priorities guys, priorities. So, since may bagong type of plane ka na ililipad, you have to take an additional rating examination for Cessna 172. Sa commercial pilot course, ang main focus is to build your flying hours, better understanding of aircraft system, and of course, higher standard of airmanship. So, pwede ka nang mag-cross-country flights for you to gain lots of hours. So, ano ba yung cross-country flight? Cross-country flight time is defined as time acquired during a flight that includes a point of landing that is at least a straight line distance of more than 50 nautical miles from the original point of departure. So, it basically means that from point A to point B, kailangan mo ng more than 50 nautical miles ang layo ng distance para makonsider siya na cross-country flight. So, ito yung sa ibang place kayo maglaland. So, you can go to different places like Subic para mag-launch or konting pasyal sa Vegan or mag-surf ng isang oras sa Baler, Aurora. So, make sure you bring extra clothes kasi one time na-stuck kami for 2 nights in Baler. Sinabutan kami ng malakas na ulan. So, okay na sana eh. So, yun, na-run kami for 2 nights. So, run means remain overnight. So after you reach 140 hours of actual flight time, mag-undergo ka ulit ng checkride for you to be a commercial pilot license holder. So usually nare-require na license for you to land a job or get paid as a pilot. The last course na you have to take is the instrument rating. So you must be a PPL or CPL holder for you to take this course. So since mostly ng mga flights mo from PPL to CPL is VFR or Visual Flight Rules, meaning weather conditions should be good and clear enough to allow the pilots to see where the aircraft is going. But what they always say, it's not always rainbows and blue skies. So that's why we have to rely on our instruments. That's why we have to be instrument rated for us to comply with the IFR or instrument flight rules to enable the pilot to legally and safely operate a properly equipped aircraft in instrument meteorological conditions, or IMC, meaning we primarily use the instruments for our navigation, for we lack visual reference from outside, or when airspace requires an IFR procedure. So for you to be instrument rated, you must undergo instrument rating ground school, 20 hours of flight simulator, and 10 hours of instrument flying Cessna 172. You will have 2 check rides with CAAP checkers, one in a simulator and one in actual flight. So after you finish these courses, you are now full-fledged pilot. Yay, congrats! So it took me a year to finish the whole course, considering external factors like weather, schedule, plane maintenance, exams, check ride, and the release of the licenses. So at the end of the course, you will gain roughly 165 hours, so you can now wear your bars. So commercial pilot is different from being an airline pilot. Commercial pilot is ang license, and this is your key to land a job for you to be an airline pilot or for you to be hired and get paid for flying. Golden tips! Every time you finish the course, always get your ground school certificate and your certificate of total flying hours for safekeeping. So it looks something like this. So ito yung sample ng certificate of training, and ito yung sample ng certificate of flying time. So always update your logbook kasi baka may ma-skip kang i-record na lipad. So sayang din yun, and have it cross-check with your flying school as well if tallying record. So have at least 100 hours of PIC time, and lastly, of course, don't give up. Ang daming times ko nang na-question yung self ko if para sa akin ba to, and it's perfectly normal. And it's okay that you're having a hard time, it's okay that you don't understand, it's okay to make mistakes. What's important is you face those challenges with a great mindset. So those challenges will help you learn, grow, and enhance your skills as a pilot. And when everything seems to be going against you, remember that the plane takes off against the wind and not with it. Always stay positive and visualize yourself who you want to be, and greet everyone and share your positive vibe. So I'll end this video by saying your attitude will determine your altitude. So if you learned something from this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you again on my next vlog.